Hey guys, welcome. I'm back again. It's your boy Japanese Tutor. Let me just put on this analysis for us. We have a new chapter. With new chapters, we got more learning to do. Finally, I know, chapter 2. Whew. It's been a long road. With chapter 1, it took us about, I think, 2 weeks? Or something like that, like a week and a half, let's say. And thank you for sticking through it. But let's go right into chapter 2. In chapter 2, it's about knight versus pawns. Okay, so the first example, and I'm going to read from the text, is mate. Okay, so this is going to be king versus pawns. If the defender's king is trapped in the corner, sometimes even a lone knight is able to mate. Okay, so he gives us this example, and he gives, if it's white to move, knight f6, king h1, knight g4. The king cannot move up, so pawn over here, king here, pawn push, checkmate, because the king has nowhere to go. Right, this king covers these two squares, and that's good. Okay, so and if they said, but even with black to move, the game lasts only a little longer. Okay, so let's see what he's talking about. King h1, knight f6, king h2. Oh, so let's say, okay, sorry. Let's do the sub variations first. He's saying if g5 instead of king h1, if g5, knight f6, g4, knight captures g4, king h1 here, h2, and then knight f2, checkmate again. Right? This. Okay, so let's put it back. Let's pawn here. Okay, so king h1, knight f6, king h2. Now he said if h2 here, knight g4, g5, knight e3, exclamation point. g4, knight f1. Yeah, the king has nowhere to go, right? So he has to push to here, and then take, checkmate. Great. Okay, so let's put another pawn over here. Alright, so king h1, knight f6, king h2, knight g4 check, king h1, king f1, g5, king f. King f2, h2, knight e3. He has to go here, right? So g4, king f1. Oh, sorry. So instead of going down here, he plays here, check, knight takes c3, checkmate. Pretty simple. So even with a knight, you can mate against two pawns only if the king is in the corner. And these examples are king in the corner. So let's go over some drawn positions. Knight and pawn win easily against the lone king. That is, of course, so long as the pawn is not lost. But there are exceptions. He says black to move, and black saves himself by squeezing the opposing king in the corner. He must only be careful to choose the correct square for the king. King f8 loses after c7, f8, king f7, e6 covering the square, right, and then the king can come out. So very nice. So he's saying instead, what we should play is king f7, knight c7, f8, so that when he checks us, king f7, and now he can never win a tempo. Knights cannot win tempos, by the way. And in the text, he said, it is useful to know that the knight, unlike the other pieces, cannot lose a move in order to give the move to the opponent. The knight cannot triangulate. Very important to note that the knight cannot triangulate. Every other piece can lose a move. Like let's say you had a bishop here. If you wanted to pass the turn to your opponent, but you had to control this square, boom, boom, bam. Right? Simple as that. And now it's your opponent's turn if they had to go back and forth, back and forth. With the knight, we don't have that option. Okay. Hey, F Twilight, what's up? And hola amigo, ¿cómo estás? Aquí tenemos caballo y peones. Alright, and we're gonna learn, so from the text again, we shall learn about drawing situations by analyzing the following example. Okay, so let's put up the example. And how's everybody doing? I feel so good that we're past all these pawn endgames. I was like, more pawns! Ugh. But honestly, I feel stronger. I feel so much stronger. I feel like I have all the answers in the world. And whenever I look at pawn endgames, like, so if I can make it to the pawn endgames in some of my blitz games, I'm absolutely crushing it. Like, I haven't lost a pawn endgame since we've done pawn endgames, and the series has finished for pawn endgames, and I'm uploading them to YouTube. The next episode I'm uploading, I think I have like 2 or 3 more episodes. I just have to cut it up. 2 or 3 more episodes, and then that's gonna be on YouTube. I'm gonna make a playlist on YouTube. Okay, king is over here, and white is going up, and black is going down. Oh, wow. Okay. This is a toughie. All right. So let's put it. It's white to move. So remember that they can go here, right? Because black is going up. Okay. So the text gives, if king d6, knight a4, knight e4, king d5, knight g5, king captures. Yeah, so that's what it gives. But okay, let's go back. It just says knight a4 minus over plus, and then if king b6, then knight e4. So king. Oh, sorry. If king d6, knight a4, and if king b6, knight e4. Threatening to queen. We're gonna bring our king in, and it's gonna be a whole bunch of good stuff, right? Right, and then we just play like knight g5, knight f3, and then take the pawn. Alright, cool. So let's look what the text has to say. Okay, so you should play king c6 in this situation, knight e4, king d5, right? Because we have both options covered. Remember, you always want to, not always, but most of the time you want to do multi-purpose moves. Let's see, knight g5, and then king captures c5. So knight g5, king captures c5, knight f3, king d5 exclamation mark, knight captures h2, king e4, king e4, knight g4, king f3, king g7, king g3, h2, king g2. We may conclude that in those cases where the pawn has gone too far, in other words, to the next to the last rank, the position is drawn. The knight could also be at f1 without affecting the outcome. Well, alright. Makes sense. He says that the other try for black is king g7. Oh, after king c6, king g7, king captures, king f6, d4, king d4, knight d1, king d3, king f5, king e2, knight c3 check, king f2, king f4, king g1. And he notes here that it is impossible either to drive the king from the corner or to mate him. The best black can achieve is stalemate. Interesting. Okay, so let's say we play here, for example. Knight e4. And we can never waste a move, right? Oh, it's so horrible, no? That's so bad. And then it's a draw, even though we have an extra knight. Wow. Alright. So he gives us exercises pretty easy, but this is some pretty easy stuff, so we can do this. Let's go for some new analysis. And we have an exercise right here, and as you know, we have some exercise. I'm going to put on some music. Yeah, we're going to try to solve it. Right here. Let me know your answers in the chat. Alright, so put it right in the chat. The chat's gonna go right up there, and let me know what you think. You can start as soon as the music comes on. Ready, set. Also wanted to note that it is white to move. White to move. Alright, welcome back. Alright, hopefully you were able to solve it. So let's try to solve it together. So what I calculated was, if here, right, then if king here wasn't any good, so let's say king here, can't move anywhere, so he has to go here, right? So I wanted to play check first, right? So this is what I wanted to do. Check. but I couldn't find a way to like lose a move, right? But I want the knight to be able to get there, right? So I went here, but I want him to push the pawn because if I go here, he has here, right? So let's try to find another way. Does anybody have any answers in the chat? So maybe it's not as easy as it seems. If it's white to move here, we can't lose a move, right? There's no way to lose a move. Because they're not just going to play here so we can checkmate them, right? If they go up, then we kind of just have to follow them, right? Or am I wrong? Because I don't want to give him this square. Okay, so let's try to find a different way. Can we go here instead? Because they cannot go here. Maybe that's the problem, right? We got to cover all three of these squares. So I think we found it, guys. So he has to go here. Then we go here. Then he goes here. And now it still doesn't make sense. Maybe like this, right? But it still doesn't make sense for me because then I can't lose the tempo. Can we do this, guys? Alright. How to find a way in? Let's see. King F3. King H1. King F2. King H2. Knight D4. King H1. Knight F5. King H2. He has to go down, right, to threaten this. Then we play Knight F1. The key. Alright, so let's go back to the beginning. The beginning. This is the key. This is the key. I miss Knight F1. I miss targeting both of these squares. And then okay. So this is the key. King F3, right? We're covering this square with the knight. Covering this square with the king. And covering this square with our other king, right? So all these three squares are blocked. So he's gonna go down. We go down this way. Right? Bam. Now we go away. We say, hey, bye bye bye. He only has one move, so he's gonna play that one move. Right. So then we play Knight F5, threatening to play here. Right. So he cannot play here because we're gonna play here. So what we do instead. Is play here. And on this, he has to go down, right, to threat. Wait, that's the only move he has. And then, boom, now he only has one move to push a pawn, and then we play checkmate. Good job, guys. Good job. All right. So let's go over the next exercise. Again, if you have any solutions, feel free to put this in the chat. If you're on YouTube, still put it in the chat. Anything you found difficult, anything you found exciting, if you found another way to win, put that variation down, and we'll look at it. And I'll be very grateful because it helps the whole community grow. I'm but only one person. Alright, let's look at a new analysis. So we're going to go to a new exercise. Okay, so let's look at that, and then pawn, king. And it is white to move. This is another exercise. So I want you guys to try to solve this. White to move. Oh, this is a simple one, but okay. I'm still gonna give you. I'll give you 3 minutes because sometimes simple for me is not simple for you, but simple for you guys may be simple for me. Simple for you guys might be really difficult for me, so it's all relative. So good luck. Alright guys, welcome back. That was probably easy enough for you guys to solve. Where can the knight go? Any answers? Any answers in the chat? I'll give you guys about 5 seconds to answer. Where can the knight go? So let's put the squares it can go to. Go here. It can go here. Right? Okay, so since the knight can go there and there, what so I don't know if you see it or not. Hopefully you do. It's in this position I would probably play rook b1. Just saying. I like rook b1. And on knight c2, check. And let me make sure that this is the right position here. This is all I would do. King e4. And just try to keep playing on it. Maybe like rook b2, rook b1. And I don't know. I don't think that black really has much. One. No, there's no way really to infiltrate. I have a rook that can play a passive defense, so it really has to prove this advantage. I mean, rook b7 just targeting the pawn right away is really good, and then I can just keep harassing the pawn. There's no good way to save it, right? He can't put his rook in the way. So let's say he plays here, then I'll just keep playing here, here, here. Maybe play something like this, rook b1. And if knight c2. King takes, and we have a position that, if you remember, he cannot get us out of the famous position that we just went over, right? So there's that. And if they allow us to take, also let me just go over it one more time. Like, okay, up here, here, here. Like, it doesn't matter where you go, you can never like move this king out of the corner. I have 2 squares. You can never take this pawn because it's always a draw, right? So that's the position that we kind of hope for. And if he lets us take the pawn, let's say h5, and he just lets us take the pawn, then he still has he really doesn't have anything going for him. How is he mating me? Right, like here, and I'm totally fine here. I mean, I play a passive defense. I can always come here. If the rook ever steps here, then I always have this, right? If he tries to block it, block my path, you know, I can always just keep playing check, king f4, and then just simple stuff like simple chess, you know. I can always take here, right? So that was a draw, and we had solved that. Really nice draw because we targeting the pawn, but really we're trying to get into this position. We're trying to get into the position where he advances his pawn too far, and we get a position that we know already. And that's the key for all of the endgames in Mark Deveretsy's book. You want to get positions that you know, or similar positions that you understand. That way you can either outplay your opponent or draw a losing game. Okay. Next puzzle. Pawn here, pawn here. There's a knight here and a rook. Black rook here. So white to play, There's a black king here. So white to play, and it's your move. I'm gonna put the music on, and good luck. Hey, King Dave. What's up, King Dave? Have you solved this one already? We're doing some knight endgames. Knight versus pawn endgames. Chapter 2. We finished chapter 1. Chapter 2 this time. One. Okay, so we cannot play h2 because they can checkmate us. Oops, sorry. I'm supposed to give you time. I was thinking out loud. Sorry, take your time, Alright, sorry about that. Sorry about the outburst. Since I was talking to the chat, I already was talking out loud. Oh yeah, Twilight. He's both. Alright, so let me show you. If h7, right, then he has really nice mate. He can play rook g5, h6, knight c6. Push. Boom. He gets a queen. Checkmate. So we can't play there. So he has to play king g7. So that let's say rook takes it here. Then we can play h7, threatening to queen. If we play check, we play king h6, so he can no longer play there. If here, boom, we make a queen. Check. Bam. 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 But the point is that the immediate h7 to try to get a stalemate does not work because he has 1, 2, 3, right? So the 1, So he basically gives us our reserve tempo back. He has 2 reserve tempo. King G, like if play here, then he's like, okay, it's stalemate, and then it's like, no. Hello. Get a queen, and then hello. Right, so it's checkmate because he can't go anywhere. Really, really beautiful example. So the only way to draw this is if here, then here, and then king f6, get out. Rook captures h5. Then king g7, and if he plays here, then obviously we could play whatever. That means a draw. We stay on one of these 3 squares, and we can always reach the pawn if they ever go back. Hello. And on knight c6, you know, we can play either this or this, and it's still a draw because, okay, let's play here, and same problem, and he can't get to us in time. Right, yeah, he just can't get to us in time. Alright, well, that's pretty good, actually. Okay, next. Let's go to the next one. Alright, so the next one is knight versus rook pawns. Now, knights are notoriously weak against rook pawns, and just something you should keep in mind that if you have a rook pawn versus a knight, sometimes that rook pawn can tie down the knight. So if you have a pass pawn, and it's an H pawn or an A pawn, then you have good chances of just tying down that knight with 1 pawn. Okay, but let's see what he says. That's what I've learned from my experience and growing up with a few coaches. Okay, knight versus rook pawn. So I'm gonna read from the text, and then I'll set up I'll set up the position after. The closer the passed pawn to the edge of the board, the more difficulty the knight has in dealing with it. The rook pawns are especially dangerous. Here is a simple yet instructive example. I've also been working on my reading. Hooked on phonics, guys. Hooked on phonics. I'm trying to enunciate clearly because sometimes I tend, like my voice, it'll go from my mouth and then die right in front of you. So you know that I'm speaking, but you can't understand the words, and I have a tendency to do that. So it really is a bad habit of mine. So I'm trying to project my voice. So if it's ever too loud, you can leave a comment on YouTube or on Twitch. Just let me know. I'll try to fix it. Okay, the king. And I'm just gonna go straight from the text on this one. It's white to move, and this time we play knight g7 check. Look at this beauty! Wow. Knight g7 check, because if takes, remember they're notoriously bad. Can't even move this, right? Because you can't even get the pawn. And if you try to move away, there's no way to get the pawn, right? Alright, so let's see what he says in the text. So knight g7 check, king, knight captures g7, h6, king f7, h7. Note that the white king at g2, the position would be drawn. The pawn is stopped after, for instance, 96, h7. Okay, so let's say this king were over here. Then he's saying that after h6, knight e6 would draw because of here, here, and here, and we would have a draw. Interesting, very interesting. In many instances, the knight can win the necessary tempo with a check to the enemy king. Alright. The knight can hold a rook pawn without the king's help if it touches any square in the pawn's path except the final corner square. Interesting. Alright, so let's set up this one. So the king is over here. Their knight is on f5. Bam. Bam. And remember that black is going this way. Oops, oops, oops. Sorry, black is going this way. Alright. So I'm going to go with the text again. He says, note that knight g3 is a question mark. It's a dubious move because h2, king b7, king e1, king c6, king f2 is hopeless. The knight should aim for h2 and not h1. Alright, so let's go back to the example. Bam, 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 h3. So we should try to go for the h2. So I think maybe this is the correct maneuver, but let's check it out. King e3. Oh, sorry, knight e3 check. King e2, knight g4. Stopping the pawn one square away from the queen square, right? So we should never aim for the final square. Aim in front of it, or in the way of the pawn. So really, really instructive. Knight g4, king f3, knight h2 check, king g2, knight g4, king g3, knight e3 threatening check and taking, right? If he pushes, we have check and take, right? So he cannot push. King f3, knight f1, and we keep on running. Hello. Right? Okay. So he says, I should also point out that even with a knight in the corner, the position is certainly not always hopeless. True, the knight can no longer deal with the pawn by itself, but sometimes the king can come to its rescue in time. In the starting position, let's move the black king to d3, and now the knight cannot get to h2. Oh, and let's move this down. Okay. Let's go here. And okay, it says the knight has set up a barrier against the enemy king, who can not only cross. Whoa, what is this? Chris Brown, 2107 is now following Chris Brown. We got it. I woke up in Chris Brown's sorry guys, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Chess Master Squad. Let me start over. The knight has set up a barrier against the enemy king, who not only can't cross the e2, e4 squares, but also is denied e3 and d2 because of a forking knight f1. So let me show you the reason. If he goes here, we hit him with a check, hitting this, and we're winning. So we're gonna draw. Okay. He cannot go here because of the knight right now. So right now he has made a wall. So very, very, very nice. And so he's denied the e2, e4 square, and he's also denied e3 and d2. So he can't even go here, right? So he's denied all of these squares because of one, the direct knight control, the direct control of the knight, and the fork, the potential fork on this square. So very nice, very, very nice. In order to attack the knight, the king will have to lose time with the outflanking. King c2, king d1, king e1, king f2, king c2, king d1, king. Knight forks are a vital technique in knight endgames. So this is a draw. So let's say he plays king d4, king c6, king e5, and I'm just reading right from the text. Right, Chris Brown. So he has to go. So either c2. So either he goes to. Let's go back. So either he goes this way, this way, this way, this way, or he goes this way, this way, this way, this way. Right? So either one. So let's just choose the one that the text says. King d4, king c6, king e5. After king e5, king c5, king f4, knight h1, king f3, king d4, and I think we all know what's going to happen. King g2, king e3 takes, and stalemate. Oh, you love chess? You're my kind of guy. We all love chess here. We're going to set up another example. This is the 1932 example by our favorite Grigorev. Let's set it up. So basically the aim of this channel, Chris Brown, is just to give people the resource to learn how to play chess well. That's it. That's the goal of this channel. Have an online place where people can just come in for free and just chill, talk about chess, and we'll just grow all together as better chess players. Hopefully, introducing new players to the market, and just everybody like bringing each other up and a stronger average, the stronger like rating average. That's what I want, like more chess players in the chess parks. Like I grew up in the chess park when I didn't have anything going for me. I just went to chess park, and those people were basically my fathers. Whoa, Sawyer 2 is not following. Thank you. Try to do that in an actual game and succeed, and you will make would make you on cloud 9. Yeah, not only on cloud 9, the team, but yeah, I would be on cloud 9. I'd be like, oh, I just learned this. Ooh. Actually, that happened to me with the pawn endgames. We just went over chapter 1, all pawn endgames, and I don't lose a pawn endgame right now, so I feel glad. I feel really, really good. Okay, so this is it, and it's white to move. The knight goes after, and this is from the text. This is Mark Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual. Really good book. Buy it if you can. The knight goes after the h-pawn while the black king stands athwart his plan. Which side will win out? And I'm just going to read from the text. The moves. Knight b4, h5, knight c6. He notes that if knight d5 check, king f3 not allowing the vital squares to stop the pawn from going, and if knight c7, h4, knight e6, and then he plays king g4, preventing him from going here, and that loses. Okay, so what we should play after knight b4, h5, knight c6, king e4, exclamation mark, and certainly not h4 because that allows knight e5, and if h3, then obviously we are able to block it. We came up with the blockade that we had earlier, right? We just dance around the pawn. Okay, so king e4, and he gives an example, and the king restricts the knight best from a distance of 1 square diagonally, and also 2 squares away on a file or rank. So we should play double exclamation mark knight a5. And Chris Brown says this is why I'll always kill off my knight. So in endgames, I'm not calculating like a madman. I don't know. Like knights are so tricky, but knights can be so useful. Like especially if you have like blocked up endgames, it's really easy to just move a knight because you can jump and they can control different colored squares. Where if you only have one bishop, then they can only control one colored square. Like a light square bishop is only on the light squares, or dark square bishop is only on the dark squares. So the knight has a versatility, but honestly, in the end game, most end games end up in open end games, and the bishops obviously are better. Unless play is on one side of the board, then the knight's better, and I'm pretty sure he goes into this later on. But let's go back to the knight a5 double exclamation point. h4, knight c. Wait, oops, he's over here. So knight c4, king f3, exclamation question mark. So interesting move. Knight e5 check. So we have to decide between knight d2 and knight e5. That's what he says in the text. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. Try to solve which one's better. Ready, go. Alright, let's go into this. And Chris Brown. And I'm going to read from the text because he brings up an amazing point. So c4. Let's see. So he points out that on knight d2, look at this. He plays king e2. Knight e4. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, so let me just start from the beginning so you guys can see everything. Those of you who just came in, thank you for coming in. And I'm just going to start right from the beginning. The knight's here, pawn is here. Okay, knight b4, h5. Knight c6, king e4, after king e4, knight a5, h4, knight c4, king f3, and then on knight d2, you have king e2. This is the one that loses because of knight e4, h3, knight g3 check. And he doesn't control the square in front of the pawn. So if he controls this square, his king has to be close enough. Right? If he controls only the h1 square, he has to control this square to stop the pawn by itself. So the point that he's trying to illustrate here is that we need control of the square right in front of the pawn's path, but not the final square. Let's g4, king f2, and that should be a wrap. Right, okay. So we should play instead knight e5 and king g3. But you got some knowledge on you, Chris Brown. Alright, king g3, and now we play knight c4. Whoa. h3, knight e3, threatening here. If he comes up, we have king knight f1 playing here, right? And if you remember this position, we just had it a few moments ago, where we play knight f1 and we play here, and if he plays here, then we play here, and we dance around the pawn. Since we control it, now the king can do stuff. If he tries to go over it, we just keep dancing. Remember, and if he pushes the pawn, we have a knight fork. So very nice. And I'm going to read from the text here. Let's think about the strategic basis for White's saving plan. His knight goes to the h2 square via g4 or f1. So I'm just going to highlight these squares for you. So on one of these two squares, he just has control of this square from either this square or from this square. Okay? Each of those routes individually might be interdicted by the king, so it's going to be in the way. The c4 square is key because both routes intersect. So you're saying that c4, knight e5, knight g4, or c4, d2, f1. So this square was the vital square to go to, because we had a block issue, so we had to kind of think about that. Okay? Black cannot prevent the double threat, so he has to choose one plan and then we choose another. Interesting. Double attack is one of the most effective methods of struggle in chess. Along with tactical double attacks, such as knight forks, it is important to learn the use of strategic double attacks, as well as moves which further two or more goals simultaneously. Sawyer, thank you so much for following. Yeah, this is just free chess lessons. Come back. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for following me. Have a great one, and I'll see you next time. In addition to the study we have just examined, this strategy might also be illustrated by some of the pawn endgames examined earlier. Okay, so we are always trying to say, hey, what is our plan and how do we best do that? Sometimes it's going directly to the place that we know we're going to win, or creating two threats at once. And then if they choose one, let's say they choose to do plan A, then we go with plan B. If they choose plan B, then we go with plan A and we win. There are a lot of examples of that in our pawn endgames lesson. So we have some exercises for you guys. Yeah, we got some exercises for you guys. Okay, so okay, let's put these up. Now, the one I was just calculating in my head is really interesting, so hopefully you guys find it interesting as well. It's a very beautiful one. I don't know if I solved it or not, but it's interesting nonetheless. And I like what he does. Like, he takes like endgame examples and boils them down. So you know, like, oh, this is how I can get into this kind of position, rather than just like leave it like arbitrarily in the text and saying, hey, yeah, if you get into this situation, you have to do this, but not exactly going into how you should do it. So I really like that about Mark Dvoretsky. Okay, so it is white to move. Wait till I start the music, and I'll give you about 2 minutes. I'll give you 2 minutes to try to figure this out. Ready, go. Alright, if you have any answers, we have another 30 seconds left. So please put your answers into the text if you have any. I'm sorry, into the chat. And enjoy your 30 seconds. So welcome back. Hopefully you were solving the puzzle with us. If you want to just enjoy the show, we're going to get into that in just a second. I'm going to go over some of the answers that were given into the chat. So let's go with the first one that I saw, King F3. But on King F3, the reason I just don't like King F3, knight D2 picking up the bishop, right? So we always have to worry about the knight forks. Knight forks are so tricky. So you always have to be on the lookout for those, right? The king's in check, king has to move, and then we pick up the bishop. And the next one is by Paul. Is it Paul or Paul? 76. You can let me know. He says, honestly, I'm looking at the slow move, bishop b5 to d7, c8, and picking up the pawn, eventually promoting. Alright, so let's try that. So on bishop b5, I think I would. Oops, sorry. Let's go back. And on bishop b5, I think I would play knight d6 here. And if you go here, then I'm controlling all these squares, and I think my knight is just fine. And maybe f5, or maybe king f6 coming around, and having the king blockade after. We have something a little bit more immediate, but let's see what Chris Brown says. Bishop d3 and knight d6, right? So the knight becomes an excellent blockader. So what I saw, and what did he say? Bishop d5, knight d6, bishop c6, bishop b captures c6, a6. Oh, okay, that's reasonable. But how about this? Bam! Firework explosion. Because if knight captures d6, then we play bishop d5 attacking that, right? And he really doesn't have any defense for that. So let's say we play boom. Then he can't even take our bishop. He has to play here, right? So if he takes our bishop, then we get into a very comfortable position, right? Where we're gonna have an extra queen. And if he plays here, then we can just he's playing down a piece basically. Bishop c6, and we can dominate this knight. And he's playing without a knight, basically. So that's what I saw. I mean, other tries aren't good. Maybe here, bishop d5, right, knight c5, and now we can just capture right away. Okay. I mean, I just didn't see any good replies for black. After here, yeah, maybe knight b5 immediately, but still, I don't know. Our king might be coming through. Let's say, and now we can play on this side. If knight a7, stopping that. Now, since we have play on both sides of the board, the bishop is great. Maybe something like this, and maybe in the future we'll push a pawn. Maybe play like, yeah, play over here. Okay, so let's go to the next example, or the next exercise. And the exercises, I don't have the answer to them in the book. The book has the answers in the back. So I'm doing these puzzles along with you guys, just in case you wanted to know. Okay. Alright, and it is white to move. White to move, and let's give you guys maybe about a minute and a half. Ready, set. So one thing that the is happening here, that this is why I'm trying to calculate so much, is that the pawn's actually going this way, so it has 3 squares to promote. And this is pretty hard. You really have, for me at least, I had to calculate pretty deep, and I'm still in the midst of calculating. I don't know how you guys got it so fast. See, I guess the example is that you know, some problems are easier for me, and hard for you, but then some of the problems are easy for you and hard for me. So, and if we share answers and just kind of like know where we're at, I'm pretty sure we can all grow as chess players. Oh yeah. Yeah, the pawn's going. So I'll give you guys like another minute. Maybe I didn't make that clear. I should have cleared that up before. So I'll give you guys another minute. Go ahead. 96. So let's look at the ball. Okay. Alright, welcome back. So I'm just gonna go over the chat. So let's look. Paul as knight g6 is losing instantly. So first move has to be knight f7. Okay. After that, I'm looking at knight g5. Going to check on e4. So I'm just gonna put that here. Just give me a second. Let me just put that in. So knight f7. So he's saying that knight g6 loses immediately. Yeah, I just think h3 is way too strong. And I don't have like any efficient way to like check him or anything. So I don't know. Let's say we play here. We just play h2 and then on check. I don't know, king d2. Let's say knight g3 and we play king e1. King moves, but we all know how this ends, right? And we are not in time. We're like 2 moves too late. Okay. So the move that I was calculating was f7 with some tricky stuff. So let's see what Paul says. Paul was saying that he's looking at g5. So let's say F Twilight hosting with 5 viewers. My man, thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming. And welcome. This is a chess stream. We're trying to solve this hard endgame puzzle over here. It's white to move now. No, it's black to move now. So let's make a random move for black. And the exercise doesn't have any examples. So okay, so let's play. He plays here. Then we can play knight g5 with a check on e4. Okay. So if h2 here, then e4 king. Can you play here? Can you play here? g4. Knight f2. King here. He can't play king there, right? So he can't go straight. He's building a wall. Remember this wall, guys? Oh, Jesus. This wall is amazing. Hello. Right? So, like, now he has to go around. And now our king can actually come in. So we play here. Hello. Oh my god, that was so beautiful. So knight f7. Let's say he plays king d4. So knight g5, and we protect this pawn, right? So he can dance around that pawn, so that's not good. Let's just play the immediate h3. On knight g5, attacking the pawn. So they have to move it, right? So all this is forced. Let's say he plays king here. Then it doesn't really matter, right? Because they can't even play here because we play knight f1 check. So he has to play here, and our king can now come in, and our king can just protect them. Oh wow, such a beauty. Like, you have to see this kind of like this is the kind of thing where boom, 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 right? We protect this directly, and then we protect these two from here. So he can't even go here because it's going to be a draw. So it's a waste of tempo going back, and we go in with the king. Beautiful. Just honestly beautiful. So good job, Paul. That was amazing. So the idea was to get the knight f2 to build this wall, giving our king the tempos needed to get in time for king f2. Yes, exactly. Good job, Chris Brown. You know, I kind of giggle inside every time I say your name. I'm sorry. I guess it's the fangirl in me. All right. So let's go to the next example, the next exercise. These are fun. I like night games. Okay, and it is white to move, and I'm gonna put some music on for you. I'm about the millionth person who feels the same. Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna put some music on, and you go ahead. Just a side note, the pawns are going down. All black pawns are always going down, white pawns are going to go up, unless otherwise stated. So sorry about that, keep going. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys another about 30 seconds or so. I think I have a solution. Hopefully you guys have a solution as well. If you have a solution, don't feel shy. Put it into the chat. Alright, 15 more seconds. Alright. So, I don't see anything in chat. So Chris Brown did say the first thing I see is the knight is trapped. So yeah, the knight is trapped right now. The knight is definitely trapped. Right, and then the pawn is gonna take here, right? So the knight can't move. So this is what I was thinking. I just want to play King B3. King. What is he gonna play? King F7. Okay, so any move where I can take advantage of that. This is a rook pawn. I would love to do. So let's say I play like okay, so King F7. Bam. So this is the first line I was calculating, and I'm able to make it in time. I'm able to make it in front of the pawn. Right, cool. I'm able to make it in front of the pawn. So this is never gonna queen. So that was the first thing that I saw. So let's go over like a better defense. Say King B3, King E6, right? If we play check, that doesn't really do anything because he plays King F5, right? So let's say we play King B4. Here, let's say I take, and he pushes H5. Can I get there? H4. Can I get there in time? Am I in the square of the pawn? No, I'm not. So can I use my knight to get in there? No. So this doesn't win. Or draw. It doesn't draw. So we have to find some way to get the knight out of there. So King B3. Knight F8. Let's see if Knight F8 works. King B4. H5. Like I can't get it over here. Right? I just can't get it over there. I don't have any checks. I'm not in time. Yeah, I just can't get there. I believe that King A3 is superior to King B3. Many lines I'm looking at involves a knight wanting to go to. Oh, and sorry, thank you that Italian guy in Japan for hosting the stream. Yeah, let's go over Chris Brown's line. And sorry, Paul, I'll go over your line as soon as I go over Chris Brown's. So King B3, King F7, King B4. King E7. Yeah. So that was a draw. Right. We go first. Right. So this, I think this is the line that you were saying. Right. And we're in the square of the pawn. Right. 4 squares this way. 4 squares this way. So as long as I can get inside this square, we draw. Right. And as long as I get inside this square, we draw. So even I can even go here. And we catch the pawn. And Paul, I'll go over yours. So you said King A3 superior to King B3. Many lines I'm looking at which involves the knight wanting to go to